Hello, my deliciously complicated friends. It is me, Koshka the Wise, your favorite velvet furred philosopher. With 999 lives and opinions and lessons from all of them. Yes. Today we are talking about hate. Not just a big dramatic villainous, I hate the world, not that kind. No. We are diving into the real sneaky kind, the one that gets under your skin when you are talking to people or even just looking in the mirror. The kind that poisons your soul when you see someone else shining, or even just sitting there whining, taking all the energy out of the room. We are talking about hate indeed, especially hate for yourself. Now then, let us begin with hating yourself. That is like trying to fight the shadow. Honestly, most of the time you end up hitting a wall and hurting yourself more than anything else. You start thinking you're not enough, not worthy, not lovable. Maybe someone told you that, or maybe no one had to. You just came up with it yourself. Maybe you just looked around and decided that you weren't even worth the sunshine. But I can say this, I do not believe it, and neither should you. If anything, in our darkest moments, we can always find an opportunity to grow and be better, not bitter. When crippled by hate, self-loathing, insecurities, and a lack of confidence, find the courage to ask a wise question. Why do I feel this way? Why do we hate ourselves? Why do we hate others? Perhaps unrealistic expectations? Disappointment? Then again, maybe you tumbled and tripped through some trauma. Perhaps someone made you feel worthless, and you believed them. Trust this wise kitty when I say, if you find your courage, you can claw and climb your way out of any pit of self-pity. Let me quote the ever-quotable Carl Jung. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Yes, indeed. Self-love isn't bubble baths and cookies. Sometimes it's calling yourself out gently. Sometimes it's giving yourself grace for not being perfect. I mean, not everyone can be perfect. It took me 999 lives to be this amazing. Now, let us talk about another kind of hate. The kind that feels like an ache in the soul or an uncomfortable squeeze of your heart. Whoa. Especially when you see someone else winning. Oh, you might just be rattled by envy, or worse, jealousy. This is something you can and should always strive to overcome. And I know you can do it. Because I've done it in more lives than I care to count. And hopefully it won't take you that long. Let me tell you a little story from my not so glamorous days. I was a street cat. A very cute street cat, mind you, yet still walking around with some wisdom. And for a long time I survived on scraps and charm alone. I thought myself glorious and free. And yet, I would slink past windows glowing with warmth and welcoming light. And almost always inside would be a fat, pampered kitty glaring at me from the window. And me? I would wander onward, rain-soaked and feeling invisible. Yes, I hated them so much. And eventually, I began to hate myself. Not because they had something I didn't, but because I didn't believe I could ever have it. I told myself I wasn't meant for the world. I wasn't good enough to be someone's purring pleasure or tickle-worthy treasure. I wasn't soft enough, clean enough, cute enough. I felt worthless. As always, my suffering brought me wisdom. and I pondered and walked what must have been miles before my paws became sore and sensitive. It was after that long meandering of self-reflection that I realized how my hate wasn't about them or for them. It was about me and my own feelings about myself. Interesting enough, it was at that moment of my epiphany that I was snatched up by a stranger. Yes, curled up in that cold metal cage, my little heart pounding through my chest. I believed it to be another ending, yet it was actually a new beginning. You see, I remembered something I heard once in a similar situation from an old dog. Yes, I do talk to doggies sometimes. In any case, he said to me, "Fear makes you small, courage makes you shine. Love with all your soul, and joy will soon follow." So I decided to shine, to find my brightness, and show the world the best me that I could be. I puffed out my chest and put my best paw forward, and I embraced being fluffy and became confident. I perfected my purr and found faith in my most magnificent meow. Yeah, I walked around that shelter like I owned the place. And you know what? I finally felt seen. I had discovered something special. I had discovered myself. I had definitely found a part I did not know existed. As expected, within a week I was in a home, soft blankets, cuddles, fresh fish, the usual thing. I was not a street cat anymore. In many ways, I never was. I was just a king waiting for a throne. As I am sure you may know, the hate melted like snow in spring, and I finally accepted that I was a unique and beautiful thing. So, what changed? Not them, not the world, me. I changed. I chose to be brave. I chose to be kind, especially to myself. I chose to see myself not as broken, but as something that was slowly becoming better. I spoke for way too long, I think, but I have time for at least one question. Sorry, I yapped a lot there. Yes, here we are. Koshka, I hate myself for my past mistakes. How do I stop the hating? Regret, the chewing gum of the soul. Tasteless and sticky. Listen, woeful one. Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Make amends if you can, but forgive yourself like you would a dear friend. The past is a chapter, not the whole book. Now, for my final thoughts. In the end, it is easier to hate than it is to love. Know this, hate does not nourish your soul. It chips away until you are so broken inside you mistake it for joy. Love often requires effort and understanding, but believe me, it's far more rewarding and most certainly worth it. Every minute. So, please do your best to nurture love in all its wondrous forms. You can always thank me later, even if it is in another life. And if all else fails, remember what Maya Angelou used to say. Hate has caused a lot of problems in the world, but has not solved a single one yet. And now for that terrible joke. Why don't cats play poker in the savannah? Because there are too many cheetahs. Thank you for the giggles and your time that you waste on me. Please be doing the liking and the subscribing and sharing your thoughts on the topic in the comment section below. Plus, I want to know. So together we can grow and become even wiser together. I wish you much peace, love, and harmony, as always. Until next time, my cookies. Bye. Mwah.